most well-known Bangladeshi, someone with a huge international standing, a Nobel laureate, etc., etc. But does he have the political capital to bring together disparate elements within Bangladesh who aren't necessarily attracted to his economic wisdom, but seek something else?
Thank you. Dr. Yunus is probably the best candidate at the moment who can unify Bangladesh.
Why do you say so?
As you have seen already, the fact that he has wide acceptance among the regular people and also among the student protesters who organized this downfall of Sheikh Hasina. So they demanded that Yunus be there. And internationally, Yunus has the clout, he has the reputation for being a moderate person. He's not an Islamist, he's not a communist, he's not a outright rabid capitalist. So he has all these nice things that you need from a person to lead the nation right now. It would be difficult for somebody to accuse him of being like a radical. So that's very good for Bangladesh, very good for the neighbors like India as well.
That's something that's been accepted by different groups on the ground, by student protesters, by members of the BNP, by members of the army. That is he just an advisor, or is he potentially the prime minister or the leader of the interim government?
He is absolutely going to be the leader of the interim government. And based on some inside information that we got from different sources, seems like he is trying to put together a very strong advisor council, and he wants to lead the nation strongly. And we all have also heard from various sources that the military general, General Walker, is not interested to repeat the mistakes of Moinuddin Ahmed, who was the last 2006 general in a similar situation, which ended in a failure. So Walker also is not trying to do anything crazy right now. So I do believe that Muhammad Yunus is the right man for the right moment for Bangladesh right now.
Syed Badrul Ehsan, we were talking about the police very briefly earlier on. The police, as I understand it, want some sort of an indemnity. They want some sort of a form or some sort of promise that there'll be no action taken against them for what they carried out in the last X number of weeks. Legally, that seems utterly untenable, but you can't have a country without a police force. So what's the way around that?
Precisely. The new IGP who has taken over, he's asked these policemen to join their duties within 24 hours. And you're right. I mean, policemen or any established force, any institutional force cannot exactly put forward demands. So they have to come back to their responsibilities. But at the same time, a lot of policemen, and most policemen, are afraid of the consequences, because in the last 1 month or so, the police have been accused, rightly or wrongly, of suppressing the student demonstrations. And the result has been horrendous. We have seen policemen killed in these police stations and at other places. So, but the problem here is that the way things are going in Bangladesh, we haven't had a government in Bangladesh in the constitutional sense for the last 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And one doesn't really know what is happening, who is making all these appointments, under what authority. So these things have to be settled first.
Right.
So, in a modern era, in this, I would say, in a postmodern era, when a country is without a government for 3 days, that is a very difficult situation.
Yeah. Professor Nuruddin, what happens to Sheikh Hasina?
Fabulous question. I mean, unfortunately for her, it looks like she's got very few friends. The US has canceled its visa for her visa. She's obviously got family here. I think there's been really banking on being able to be let into the UK, where there are strong ties, but the UK seems hesitant to take her. And of course, that leaves us, India, which has been a steadfast friend to her, both on a personal and on a geopolitical level. But India unlikely wants to provide her long-term asylum, right? Both for strategic reasons, it endangers the partnership with Bangladesh going forward, but also sets an unfortunate precedent. So I think we need to have the dust settle. I suspect that she will stay in India for a bit before finally getting to the UK. I think the real question you're asking, though, is whether or not what she wants to do is lead some sort of government in exile, or whether the diaspora community, which right now I'm sure is in complete shock, begins to see the Awami League as needing to be reconstituted under her leadership from abroad so that eventually they can return to Bangladesh. This is what I meant in my earlier remarks, that I think the period of instability we're in right now is really dangerous for Bangladesh because an interim government sounds well and good. Muhammad Yunus is an incredible individual as a scholar. He's got a great reputation. But there's a small window of time in which returning to elected parliament and an elected prime minister is critical for the long-term legitimacy of Bangladesh's institutions.